Okay, so I want to start off by asking you guys, how many of you want and or like to experience new things? Right. So, it's exciting, it's stressful, and a lot of the times it's both. Moving from the Philippines here in America was, I had a great chance to experience a lot of new things. It was exciting for me and very stressful, and that's what I wanted to share to you, like about myself. I want to share a little bit about my life in the Philippines, moving to America, and also quickly how volleyball became my favorite sport. Okay, so my name is Ivan Julian Ray Mendoza Aviona. I was born in Manila, Philippines on July 8th in 1994. And I guess you could say that I lived a pretty good life. Both my parents were doctors. My mom was a doctor of internal medicine. I don't know what you call it here. And my dad was an ophthalmologist. After a couple months I was born, we moved to a smaller island called Cebu, and we were able to afford to rent two different houses, mainly because of my parents' work situation. One was in the city where my dad worked and where I also went to school, and one was in the countryside where my mom worked and took care of my younger brothers. We would go to the countryside house, every Friday, and I would get to play with my younger brothers and my neighbors. We would go to church the next day, and after church, we'd have our Sabbath afternoon nap, which we still take today. And after that, sunset, we'd go out to the mall or market somewhere nearby. And then the next day, like every Sunday, nearly every single Sunday, we would go to the beach. And this is one of the things that I always look forward to, to the weekends in the Philippines, because we get to do all these fun things. And then back to reality, like very early Monday morning, my dad and I would travel back to the other house in the city, which was about a 3-hour drive, so he can go to work and I can go to school. So sometime around September in 2002, I got the news that we would be moving to America. And I don't know how long my parents knew, but that was when I got it. And I don't know the exact details, but it was something along that my grandpa claimed my dad when he was younger, but my dad, he couldn't go because he had school, and so he waited another time to claim him again, and that was after he already got a job, got a family. So when he claimed my dad, he claimed us too, and we moved to America. So we moved to America near the end of the year 2002, and it was for the first time in our lives we experienced a big culture shock, and we experienced a lot of new things. I remember the first thing I experienced, stepping out of the plane was the weather. Like, it was extremely cold for me, because in the Philippines it's humid year round. There's no fall, like winter or like spring. It's just summer, wet, dry season. So it was humid year round. It was hot. And coming to America, it was just extremely cold. It was something that I knew that I had to get used to. Another example of things that was a big culture shock was the different social norms they have. I guess this applies to most Asians, that we don't really wear shoes inside our house, and that's why every time there's a family get together, just at the front door you can see just the piles of shoes in the front door, and I guess that's just how it is. And I thought it was really weird. I remember the first time I invited my friends over to my house, they walked in with their shoes, and I kind of got angry. I don't know why. I was like, dude, put your shoes outside. We don't do that here in this house. So that's what it was like for me moving to America. So fast forward to how volleyball became my favorite sport. It was my freshman year, 2 weeks before my tryouts. My friend, his name was Rico, he kept coming at me to join, They needed more people to make a JV team, and so he kept pestering at me. And somehow I managed to convince them that I really didn't want to join, I was very firm in my stance. I was like, okay, dude, I really don't want to join. And somehow, suddenly out of nowhere, the night of the tryout, he decided that it was a good idea to show up at my house uninvited and just pick me up. I remember I was doing homework, sitting in my room, the door bells, I go outside, and his dad walks in. He's like, okay, go get changed, we're gonna leave in 5 minutes. I was like, okay. I really didn't have a choice, so I had to go. And I guess you could say the rest was history. I don't know exactly what hooked me, but after that first night, I really enjoyed playing volleyball. It's my favorite sport right now. And I wanna conclude by saying, thank you for taking the time to listen to me talk about myself.